he talks about that um, in his set, and you know, um, he did pretty well actually with this crowd. The crowd liked him. I want to say he was an 8.6 out of 10. Next person to go up with is James Hancock the third. Um, Guy was super funny. Um, he talked about a few topics, but I like that he got a lot of laughs, like almost every minute when he was up there. So he was an 8.9 out of 10. And the guy who closed out the show, I guess he headlined his own show, Ryan Archuleta. I liked how he talked about, you know, dating, hanging out with the guys. Um, I think he had a border patrol joke and stuff. So um, again, crowd laughed a lot. A lot of things that he was saying, crowd ate it up. They liked his jokes, I could tell. And honestly, it's a great way to end the show. So, gotta say, Ryan Archuleta, 8.7 out of 10. Um, Another comedy show I got to watch was um, I got to be out in Cordiano Winery out in Escondido. Gotta say, Pman has some good shows at wineries. Um, the guy does a great job, brings on some great comics. Um, and I gotta say, going up to this winery in Escondido, it it's great and all when you drive in the daytime, but when you drive down the hill on the curvy road at nighttime, that is a little scary. And I'm pretty sure the comics kind of mentioned it throughout their set. There were three comics on this one. Um, P Man started out. He's the host. He's the producer. Great guy. He has some new jokes. I liked it, and he kind of brought some old jokes, like one or two. But he does love his um, the facial expression when a guy climaxes. He always has different versions of this joke, so it's kind of cool, and it made a lot of people laugh. Um, I always enjoyed the set because for the whatever time he was up there, like what, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, probably, maybe 20 minutes, it's always hilarious every single time I see him. He really, really ever bombs. So he did really well with this crowd. Um, I think for this event it was like $20 a ticket. So and you get a good view of Escondido, honestly, especially at nighttime. Um, so it's pretty awesome, and uh, he brought up another guy. First time seeing this guy, his name is Frank Martinez. The guy, I think he claimed that he's an introvert, so he loves talking on stage, but when it comes to meet and greets, he can very, he might be a little shy, not really standoffish, but you know, um, it's his personality, and I get it. So, um, he did talk about, he pointed out about a sign that said the, I think it's like the Naked podcast. It's like a real estate podcast or something. So he wanted to point it out, and he had some questions for whoever runs that podcast. And there were some realtors in the crowd. So um, he has some funny stuff. They talked about um, and I enjoyed the set. And I want to say, oh, before I forget, P Man was 9 out of 10. Frank Martinez was 8.8 out of 10. So, uh, but yeah, I think Frank had talked about. Um, I think he talked about dating. He might have talked about his parents, um, living situations here in California. um, he might have brought up his pet. Um, but he does talk about um, like social interactions with people. So, and then the next person that went up, first time seeing the guy. I've seen his name before, but this is my first time seeing him live. Um, Johnny Herrera. He, oh man, the guy was super hilarious throughout his whole set. He actually pulled out his nipple for the crowd to see because he wanted to emphasize certain things in his set. He also talked about being married to a Samoan woman, and um, I guess you have to listen to a lady who is Samoan if you're married to her. Um, uh, Johnny also talked about dating and stuff and how he met his wife. Um, and oh, he talked about DJing, I think, parties. Um, he did talk about his hair and how he's dressed. So he owns up to that. I like that. Um, uh, oh, I think Johnny Herrera actually brought up WrestleMania, WWE, WWF. Um, so that was kind of cool. Uh, I think it was something in the terms of, um, I think it was when he said the words, "Come and get this, come and get this dick," as a guy. But then because he's married to a Samoan woman, it's pretty much the same thing except she says, "Come and get this dick." So that was probably one of the funniest things he brought up on stage, especially the nipple thing too. That was one of the big things. So for the entire comedy set that Johnny Herrera had, I want to say 9.5 out of 10. Um, I'm glad I got to meet Johnny Herrera because he's a very nice guy. I got to talk to him at the show, got some pictures, and I'm glad that he teamed up with Pman. So that's pretty cool. Um, I do love these shows from Pman. So great job, Pman, Pierre. So um, and on my next episode, I'll probably talk more about a few other comedy shows and another place I tried out. So it was called Pho Time and Cross Street. So I'll talk about that on the next episode. Um, and I also had gone to, um, I think it was a comedy show at the Yellowdoor again with Justin Fox. I think that was April 24th. And then I believe I went to another comedy show at the Laugh Factory um, to see Tim Gaither. I think that was April 27th with Christy Masitani as the host. So stay tuned about of how I'm going to talk about those two shows. Um, and oh, before I forget, I mentioned it. WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. I would say it was a pretty great show. Nights 1 and 2. Night 1 did start off a little bit kind of slow with Jey Uso and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, that one, yeah. Um, And then I believe there was a um, I think it was the tag team championships. New Day versus the War Raiders. Um, the War Raiders were the champions. Gunther was the World Heavyweight Champion. Those two kind of started off a little bit slow, but it started picking up as the match went on. Jey Uso defeated Gunther with like 4 or 5 um, flying splashes. Um, the Samoan splash, the flying Samoan splash. He did it like 4 times to the back, to the front, and he locked in a rear naked choke and made Gunther tap out. And Jey Uso, with his super big popularity, winning the Royal Rumble, and he got his WrestleMania moment, winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Kudos to Jey Uso. I want to say the match was probably overall 8 out of 10. Um, yeah, slow start, but it picked up, and I liked how it ended. And it's kind of fit in that Jey Uso would make Gunther tap out after the lead up, where most times Gunther would beat up on Jey Uso or beat up on his brother, and he bloodied up Jey Uso's brother Jimmy Uso so much that Gunther took the blood from Jimmy Uso and put it all over his face and his body. That kind of set the stage to make Jey Uso like tap into a different mode, a different level, a higher level, different Jey Uso, the Jey Uso that can fully become main event Jey Uso, his nickname. Um, so we'll see where Jey Uso is going to go from here, but apparently, um, Jey Uso might be facing off with Logan Paul. So that is going to happen pretty soon, and I think that match is going to be at Backlash in St. Louis. Who knows? Logan Paul, Jey Uso, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, the next match was New Day versus the champions, the tag team champions of Raw. I guess it's the World Tag Team Championships. Um, Jace, the War Raiders. Um, I didn't like their outfits, but I think they're promoting the Clash of Clans game on a lot of like mobile games, mobile phones. So match was all right, but when it came to the end, New Day um, beat the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions. Um, and I think the New Day with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, I think they're the most decorated tag teams of all time. So, and then um, I believe we also had Jade Cargill go up against Naomi. That match was all right. Jay picked up the victory. Um, uh, I would say um, New Day and War Raiders. That match was 8. Yeah, I would say 8 out of 10. Jade Cargill and Naomi. Um, the move that Jade Cargill has looked a little bit slightly botched, but it was a nice looking finisher. So um, I would say the match was 7 out of 10. And I think we have El Grande Americano go up against. It would have been Rey Mysterio, but they brought in Rey Fenix. I guess his very first match in WWE, coming over from AEW. Rey Fenix is the brother of Penta. Um, so El Grande Americano and Rey Fenix had a good game, good match. Um, I want to say it was probably 8 out of 10. Um, I think El Grande did use like a metal piece inside his mask to beat Rey Fenix, so he cheated again. Um, but let's see. And then the main event of night one, I believe it was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And Paul Heyman was in the corner of CM Punk, as promised. It was a lot of great moments in this match. It did super well. Um, I like the storyline and twists and turns in this one. Almost everybody could have won this match. Everybody hit their finishers, but there's a lot of false finishers. But as the end came around, Paul Heyman gave the chair to CM Punk to hit Roman Reigns. Only Paul Heyman betrayed CM Punk. And then now Roman Reigns takes the chair and he beats up CM Punk with the chair. And then now it's time to beat up Seth Rollins with the chair. And then Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns. And it was personal because he hit Roman Reigns and CM Punk with a low blow. And he did more emphasis with Roman Reigns for his low blow. There's a little wiggle, a little more emphasis on that low blow on Roman Reigns. So Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns with the chair because Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are now on the same team. That's quite an alliance, and it turns out Braun Breaker is actually teaming up with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. So Seth Rollins wins the main event of night one. I gotta say that match was 9.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked how it turned out. I liked how it ended. Can't wait to see where they're gonna go from here. And then night two, we do have what was it? Logan Paul. He had a good match with AJ Styles. Logan Paul beat him. Karrion Kross kind of distracted AJ Styles, wanted him to cheat to win, but AJ Styles, he didn't want to win that way. But it kind of cost him with that distraction because Logan Paul ends up beating AJ Styles with his knockout punch, and then did the pulverizer, where you flip the guy over your head and he brings you down for like a flip and diamond cutter combo. So Logan Paul with his WrestleMania victory. It was about to happen sometime. That match was 8 8.25 out of 10. Yeah. Um, and then there was a street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Those two guys went back and forth. Good matchup. Drew McIntyre came out the victor in that one. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, I want to say that match was 8.5 out of 10. Then we got Randy Orton. He found out his mystery opponent because Kevin Owens got hurt. It turns out it was TNA champion Joe Henry, and he had one of the biggest pops of the night. And Joe Henry did his signature pose where he turns his back to the hard camera and then he looks over his shoulder and poses. And the hard camera will zoom in on Joe Henry. And of course, Randy Orton did the same thing. That was funny. And Randy Orton defeated Joe Henry. Um, that match, I want to say it was overall 8.25. Um, then we have um, let's see. Well, triple threat match for the um, women's world championship. Um, Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley and um, Bianca Belair. Um, it was a great match. Um, it was very fast paced. No slowdown period really. Everybody kind of hit all their good moves. It was just back and forth between all three ladies. And when the end came around, I think Bianca Belair had, I guess, Rhea Ripley um, in a pin, but Io Sky with her moonsault got Bianca Belair and pinned Bianca Belair, not only to break up the count between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, but got the pin on a fallen Bianca Belair, and Io Sky retains the Women's World Championship. That match was 9.5 out of 10. We had a match between Charlotte Flair, who won the Women's Royal Rumble, and she got to face WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. I could tell that they don't like each other, and you could tell that there were some stiff shots, and it got a little sloppy. But in the end, it was a good back and forth match, though, and I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton, she got the moonsault, the prettiest moonsault ever, and she got it on Charlotte Flair, and Tiffany Stratton defeated Charlotte Flair, retaining her WWE Women's Championship. So that was pretty awesome. Even though there's some good moves, but there's a lot of sloppiness, I want to say the match was 8.3 8.3 out of 10. Oh, and the matchup between four-way matchup for the Intercontinental Championship: Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus champion Braun Breaker. And there's a lot of good parts to the matches to this match, and everybody had good interaction with each other, and it was great throughout. And you got to see a destroyer from Penta, which is always awesome to see. But I believe I think it was a pinfall with Finn Balor. Finn Balor might have gotten the pin on Penta or Braun Breaker, but then Dominic Mysterio took advantage of the situation and he did his frog splash on Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio wins the Intercontinental Championship. Overall, great match. I want to say it was a 9.5 out of 10. I liked how everything turned out, and Dominic Mysterio got one of the biggest cheers. I guess he won over the crowd, so that was pretty awesome to see. And then of course the main event, night 2, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, the champion for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Great back and forth action. They both hit their good moves. And then Travis Scott came out, but Cody Rhodes paid him back for hitting him in the face before. So Cody Rhodes got his revenge for that, and Cody Rhodes did get the crossroads on John Cena, but unfortunately the referee was knocked out. And John Cena took the opportunity while Cody Rhodes was distracted by Travis Scott and grabbed the championship title, and he hit Cody Rhodes in the face, knocking him out, and the referee came around and he counted 1, 2, 3, and John Cena got the pinfall victory and is your new undisputed WWE champion. He is now a 17 champion. He's the most decorated world champion in the company. So he's the all-time leader now, and well, it's too bad. I wanted Cody to win, but John Cena, it's his last year of wrestling, and he is now the champion. Last Royal Rumble, last Elimination Chamber, last WrestleMania, and his last title reign. So, but of course, the storyline now goes with Randy Orton just RKO'd John Cena on the next Raw on Netflix, and so I guess they're gonna fight each other at Backlash for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, I'm not sure where he's gonna go now, but I have a feeling Cody Rhodes might be facing The Rock very, very soon. I want to say SummerSlam. I would say that's probably when it's gonna happen, so that'll be fun to watch. Tie up that storyline. So, with that being the case, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, I want to say that match was about an 8.6 out of 10. So, yeah, that's that's a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. WrestleMania, Lakers, Kings, Sango FC, Phenom, Mountain Mike's Pizza, concert, 2 comedy shows, Yellowdoor, Laugh Factory. So a lot of great stuff there, and stay tuned, guys, for my next episode, 223. But just so you know, I think I'm going to break up this episode 222, 2 parts. So just so you know. Well, you know the saying goes, boom, Tiggy Maximus, signing off, baby. All right, later, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to Foodie Land, Del Mar. Today, tomorrow, Sunday. Yeah.